Hello and welcome to this Photoshop tutorial on how I created gold coins for my miniature dictatorship. The image you can see in front of you is a file image which I made, which was inspired by Patrick Caulfield, and in particular this image here. For my image, I wanted to create my own money and my own currency for my dictatorship, and I thought coins would obviously be a part of that. I then also got an idea, which was to literally use one of Patrick Caulfield's paintings, which was this one here, and I thought that if I cut out this clock and turned it 90 degrees, it would look like a coin. And this is what I did. So in order to do this, I used the quick selection tool and selected the clock, like so, and then layer via copy. So there's the clock. Turning it 90 degrees, and starting to look like a coin now. Obviously it's still a clock, and I need to get rid of that. So again, I use my quick selection tool and select the middle part of the clock face. I left the outer yellow, and I click fill, right click on it, go down to fill, go onto contents here and color, use the color picker on the yellow of the clock, like that. Okay, and there it is. Now obviously if I zoom in here, you can see there's a bit of an outline which the quick selection tool didn't pick up. So here I'm going to use a brush, and I'm going to click on the top white box here and select this color and simply brush over these lines to make it look better. Here I overstepped the mark a bit, so I'm simply going to press Ctrl Z to undo that. Did it again, Ctrl Z. Now I've done it twice, and in this instance Ctrl Z only fixes the last adjustment made. So Control Alt Z does it twice. You can go as far back as you want with Control Alt Z. And I think we're done. So now we have successfully turned our clock into a coin. Okay, so how do we get to this point here? Well, first we need to create a new document, and I'm going to do it in the same size as this one, which is 54.52 centimeters wide and 28.22 centimeters high. So I'm going to go File, New to create a new document to work on. Centimeters 24.52, 28.22 seems right. Let's just double check. Yep. And here is our blank document. Now, to start with, when I was creating the original piece, I just used my paint bucket tool, which is here, and filled it in a green colour, such as this one. But I think that this colour here is quite a nice one, so I'm going to get the I'm going to click on this top foreground colour and colour pick it. So this colour is hashtag 8CCA45, and I'm going to use that colour on this document as well. So that's our background colour. Now if we just move the tab like this, it allows me to easily copy and paste our coin onto it, like that. Now with this I just simply I can click on it here, so click on the arrow tool, the move tool, like that. I can move it around, so I'll leave it there for now. If we duplicate the layer, I think if we Control T on any of these layers, it brings up a little selection, and we can increase the size and whatnot. Just Control Z that because we don't want to do it. If we Control T and then okay, so it's not letting me do that. So I think we'll just have to duplicate the layer a whole bunch of times. Normally, what you can do is simply have the layer highlighted and press Control C to copy it, and then Control V to paste it. But here I'm just having to right click on the layer and duplicate the layer. So right now we have 11 coins, so I'm going to take out the little move tool, move them around. So here are all the coins that we'll be using for this particular example. Now a very generic image of a coin or coins is to have them piled up on top of each other. So if I find now here I'm gonna pressing on a coin highlights it in the bottom left corner, bottom right corner, sorry. And when it's highlighted, you can use the arrow keys for a more precise movement. So here I'm creating one pile. I want to create a pile behind it. Like that. As you can see, some of the layers are on top of each other. So you need to be careful to use the right ones. Like this one here isn't going in a place where I want it to. So I'm going to find this layer on top, which is layer 1 copy 3, and then this is layer 1 copy 9, so I'm going to move it above layer 1 copy 3 so it sits on top like that. And there I just clicked and dragged to move all of them at once. And I repeated this many times for many coins to obviously create this effect that we have here. Now, I also included a face on top of the coin, as often coins of different countries, different currencies, they often have their country's leader's face on the coin, or a leader from history, an important figure's face basically. And the leader of my dictatorship is obviously me, God, the dictator, so I included my face on top of the image, which I will do now. This is my face. This is actually a different image to this one. This is more detailed, but it will suffice. And what I did to achieve this effect was creating a copy of just the shadows in the image, not the white. So I need to get rid of the white basically. So I go on select color range, select the white, and increase the fuzziness a bit. And it's made a selection. I'm then going to hover over the quick selection tool and right click, select inverse. So now it just says the shadows collected, and then I right click, layer via copy, and there is my face. Like we did earlier, just hold on the tab and drag it out, and simply take the layer and drop it where we want it to go. And I dropped it in the wrong layer. Okay, so we now have my face, and we're going to lower that down. We're going to zoom in, see what we're doing. And we want my face, because the coin that we are looking at is obviously at an angle. We need my face to be at that same angle. So have the face selected like this. If you press enter, simply highlight the layer. This is layer 2 and Control T. Go on to the edit window thing and perspective, and this allows us to drag the face into the right perspective. Which I think is like that. And then click enter. But as you can see, there are aspects of the image which go beyond the coin, and so I used the elliptical marquee tool to create a shape such as this over where I want it to be cut, and I pressed select inverse and delete. So there you have my face on a coin. Simply duplicate the layer and move it onto the next coin. Use the arrow keys if you need to. Duplicate the layer once more. Control V. And there you have it. This is how I created my gold coins, inspired by Patrick Caulfield, for my money shoot in my miniature dictatorship. Thank you for listening, and good night.